Hello, fifth grade, it's Miss Lipiansky, and today we're going to practice some one-point perspective drawing techniques. So we're gonna start with a horizon line. I just put that ruler in the middle and draw a line straight across. You might remember last year we made a one-point perspective drawing from a street perspective. So this is the same technique, but today we're gonna start looking at it as if it were a bird's eye view from on top. And then next week we're gonna make a final artwork that looks like a city. So this is kind of just a practice round and a refresher. So draw your horizon line, and near the middle you make a little point. This is our vanishing point. It looks like everything recedes or goes back toward and disappears at the vanishing point. So let's start up here with making a simple shape. We're gonna make a square. If you don't have a ruler, you can use anything that has a nice straight edge, like a magazine or a book or whatever you have. A piece of cardboard. Okay, great. Now we're gonna connect the points to the vanishing point, and we're gonna connect all the ones that are able to view or see or have a clear path to the point. So this one, for instance, it's blocked by the shape. It doesn't have a clear path, so we're not gonna connect that one. I like to put my pencil at the vanishing point to help me line it up. It's at the corner and we connect. Draw lightly because we're going to erase parts later. Okay, next point, next corner. Notice I spread my fingers out on the ruler to make sure I hold it tight. If you only hold it in one point, it'll move. Like if I hold it here and then whoop, it'll go. Okay, now we're going to finish off the shape or the building, and we have to enclose it, and the lines that we use need to match these lines. So each side is gonna have parallel lines. Parallel means running along each other in the same direction. They would never touch. So this one's horizontal, so down here we're gonna make a horizontal line. Okay, and then this one is vertical. So here where this one starts, that's where it needs to end. We're gonna connect our ruler and make a vertical line. Okay, so I want you to remember, this is really important because it gets tricky later when we're designing our cities that are a little more complicated. These lines are always parallel to these lines. So this line is not gonna be at an angle. Sometimes people get a little confused with perspective and start making things at different angles. Any part of the building or surface that is facing you is flat, straight. These lines go toward the point. Okay, so I'm erasing that, and there we go. Now you could also look at this like a floating box. If this is a horizon line, like where the sunset is, this is a box that's floating, and you're seeing the underside of the box. So let's go ahead and draw one down here to see what it would look like if it was below the horizon line. You're gonna see the top of the box. And we can make this one more rectangular just to change the shape, to do something a little different. So I made it much longer so it's a rectangle instead of a square. Okay, same thing. We're gonna connect the points that have a view or a path to the vanishing point. Like that. This is the top of the box. Now we need to make our parallel lines. This is a simple one again because we just have horizontal and vertical lines. And you get to choose how far you want this shape to go, where it stops. Like I could have stopped it right here, but I chose up here. All right, now we're gonna do a more challenging shape. We're gonna do a circle. If you don't feel comfortable drawing a circle on your own, try to find something you can trace. Now the parts that we connect for a circular object are the outermost parts of the shape. So if I take my ruler, I'm going to put my pencil here, and I move the ruler across the shape until it hits the very outer part of the circle. We don't want to have it come in too far. Now the other furthest part, there it is. Okay, and now this parallel line has to match this shape, so it's going to be rounded. Next shape we're going to practice is going to be a more complicated shape. You get to choose, and it's going to have lots of straight parts, angles, and maybe a curved part. That's going to be a complicated one, but that's fun. Okay, so we have to connect the points that would reach. We have this one, this one, this one, because it comes in. I noticed this one might connect, but it might just line up with that side. This one doesn't look like it's going to reach. Let's check this one out. Nope, part of the building blocks it. Here, and then here, it'll reach up until it hits this part of the building. So you will see one wall, that side, and then the round part too. So let's start with the outermost of our round section. Oh, looks like this one will reach. There we go. We're connecting where things don't get blocked. And this one, I'm still lining it up with a point, but I'm gonna stop right here because that's where the building top is. Cool, so now we need to add our parallel lines. Now, because this has a jagged shape, if I choose this distance right here, I made it round to match this, I have to keep that same distance for each section. I'm not gonna end the whole building here. This distance up here is gonna be the same. So I'll show you what I mean. If this, where I chose here, is 1 inch and 2 extra notches, then over here it's gonna be 1 inch and 2 extra notches. You don't have to measure, be that precise, but my point is that you see this part of the building comes up higher than down here. It's not that the building's actually ending at a different place. It's just that it has to follow the shape that you made of the roof for it to look three-dimensional. This line is matching this line. See, each of those. All right, so now we're going to erase this. Okay, now we could add some details like windows, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do windows. If I wanted long vertical windows on the building, they would all have to be going toward the vanishing point. So maybe I'm going to make some notches here, some evenly spaced notches, to make sure that I know where to add the lines. Each one is going toward the vanishing point. Okay, now I'm gonna erase this extra, and that's so cool. It looks like vertical windows here. I'm gonna show you horizontal windows on this side. Now, horizontal lines are kind of like how we end, horizontal windows are going to be matching this line because it needs to be parallel. And if you want to make it look like it's getting smaller the farther away it is, you can draw the lines a little closer together. Okay, so you could also do both lines in both directions. Let's do that here. We're going to make our notches to spread out our vertical windows. And now I'm going to add my horizontal windows. These ones go parallel to the shape. So here we have windows with lines that mark horizontally and vertically. You could do that on all of these. These are horizontal windows, so now I'm just, again, making them parallel, following the shape. If I wanted to do that on a rounded object, and if I want to make vertical ones, same thing as before. It's super important that your lines that go toward the point are actually matching up toward the point. And it's also very important that any other lines are parallel or going the same direction as your initial shape.